April 26th, Eubank Jr versus Benn. 30 years of rivalry and hatred.
I do hate him.
All comes down to this. The next generation, a new destroyer. For family, history, legacy. Eubank Jr versus Benn, April 26th. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
So we had the weigh-ins today for Benn Whittaker versus Liam Cameron 2. That will be taking place tomorrow night. I, for one, absolutely love boxing on a Sunday. I love it. Friday nights are good and they're cool for boxing events. Saturday nights are obviously the main ones. But I, for one, do enjoy a Sunday evening. It's something to look forward to. I remember Eddie Hearn, and that lasted all of one fight, but one fight card, was talking about doing more Sunday shows. And he did a Sunday show with Lawrence Okoli. I think that was the last fight Okoli had with Matchroom. And he said he'd do more, but he never did, as did Shalom. Now, Shalom's kind of done one a year, thereabouts. But I enjoyed them. I think they add something. I think Sunday is one of those days where once the football is over during the season, there's not really much sport to look forward to on a Sunday. You're more looking towards next week. And I love the idea of having a boxing show, especially a big show like this on a Sunday. I think it's really, really good. It's obviously a bank holiday here and in the UK. So, it makes sense to do it, but I really enjoy it. In terms of this fight, we had the weigh-in. Someone told me years ago that they always like watching the weigh-ins for fighters apart from heavyweight. And I'm the opposite, because I love seeing heavyweights weigh in. Because it's so interesting to see, has he come in out of shape? Is he heavy? Is he lighter? Etc, etc. With these guys, they're both 175 pounds. I think Liam Cameron's a little bit under, but they're both essentially 175 pounds. They did a ceremonial weigh-in because the results came in at about noon this afternoon, I should be saying, and they weighed in about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock UK time. This fight is taking place up in Birmingham. It'll be on a Boxer show. I don't have the thumbnail ready, but we will be doing a live watch-along tomorrow. Ade is on at 7. I'll probably go on about 8 or half 8. So we're not doing it together, but you'll have Ade and G-Man both doing a live watch-along. That's going to be epic. And thank you to everyone who did tune in to Ade and G-Man. Obviously, that show, it gets views all week, which is incredible, really. It really is. I mean, it's always retaining views every week's show. But we did it remotely, and we're going to do it remotely this week and next week as well. And then I'm back in London. God, I'm telling you now, man, I love being home, but I miss London so much. I'm only home 3 days, and I want to go home. I miss London so much. So we will be back to business in a couple of weeks. Have no fear there. Let's talk about this fight. There's a lot of interest in this fight, and as we speak, there's a DAZN card on, and I think Eddie Hearn should be thanking his lucky stars that he's not going up against it, to be honest with you, because I think if he was, I think there'd be just no interest in Dalton Smith's fight tonight. And not to say this is not a knock on Dalton Smith, of course not, but it's got a bit under the radar. And I think he just should be glad that he's not going up against Whittaker Cameron. In terms of Whittaker Cameron, my opinion hasn't changed. I know a lot of people have been saying that they think it's going to be Liam Cameron, that they think Liam Cameron's going to pull this off, that if the first fight's anything to go by. And my response is just as simple as, I think that first fight was genuinely an anomaly. Now, I could be completely wrong. Liam Cameron could go in there and put a beating on Benn Whittaker. Could happen. And if that is the case, then we really have to ask questions about Benn Whittaker. If you can't get through Liam Cameron over 10 rounds and he's beating you up, well, really, where does that leave you? Because there was a lot of talk that he was going to essentially bypass this level. The Liam Camerons, the Dan Azizes of the world, he was essentially going to bypass them and go straight in with the Boatzis, the Smiths of the world, looking to go in at world title level ASAP. Clearly, that's not going to be the case. If he doesn't get past Liam Cameron, I mean, it's not going to be the case, I don't think, ever, to be honest with you. I think he will. I think that, again, the first fight was probably more an anomaly. Everything just seemed to go wrong on fight night for him, in terms of I don't think he prepared adequately. I think that at the time, he didn't really have a proper cornerman, and, he was still... Benn Whittaker struck me, certainly at one point last year, to almost let the hype go to his head a bit. To the point where, Sugar Hill lives in America, I live in the UK, I don't want to do, all right, I don't need him, I'll get whoever, I'm so good. And he's clearly not. He's not a bad fighter, but he's clearly not that good that he can do a Floyd Mayweather and have anyone in the ring and he just knows himself instinctively. And even then, you still need someone just to, remind you now and again. He's got Andy Lee, he looks in very, very good shape. essentially Andy Lee and Sugar Hill Stewart. Kronk, true and true. Both corner Tyson Fury as well. Andy Lee is the assistant. They know each other. They're going to be in contact. He will have been given the whole ins and outs of this is what you do with Benn Whittaker, this is what you don't do from Sugar Hill. So essentially, it's a geographically, it's much easier going from Birmingham to Dublin than it is to maybe fly Sugar Hill over from Detroit. He lives in Detroit, Michigan, and that sort of way, because it's geographically it's a bit of a mess. Yeah, of course. So I still maintain that this fight won't be particularly close. I don't think, and I think that Benn Whittaker is going to win it on points. Now, the 10-round thing, it's an expensive mistake. And whatever happens in this fight, whether Benn Whittaker looks sensational and he schools Liam Cameron over 10 rounds and he wins a comfortable decision, boxer themselves have not done themselves any favours whatsoever in the build-up to this fight. Because, again, it's people having to go Benn Whittaker over the round situation. That's not Benn Whittaker's fault. It's a Benn's fault. But instead of Benn Whittaker, I'd be saying, Mr. Shalom, I'm looking at you. At the end of the day, right, Boxer have been around. I gave Boxer a lot of leeway at the very, very start. At the very start, the shows weren't amazing. They grow in pains. But a small-time promoter like Ben Shalom, as he was when he took over at Sky, being given a major budget on a major platform, it's going to take some growing pains. It's not like he's established like Hearn and Warren, all right? So it's going to be tricky. I get that. So you give him a bit of leeway. And things still didn't really, pick up in terms of the cards. But then you see all these, don't mention this, don't ask me this, and oh God, other stuff as well. When you see fighters sign with Boxer like Jack Cattrall, never make their debut and jump straight away to Matchroom, when you see someone like Joseph Parker have one fight with Boxer and then they're out of there, that tells me they're getting into Boxer, they're seeing how it's being run, and they're thinking, oh my God, this guy don't know what the hell he's doing. And a mistake like that, which has now cost them God knows how many thousands. You wanted it as a 10-rounder, you put it down as a 12-rounder, you should nip that in the bud instantly. Nip it in the bud instantly. Instead, you go through all this rigmarole and you leave it like this. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So, Boxer, again, not doing themselves any favours. In terms of the fight itself, my final thoughts are the same. Benn Whittaker to win this fight quite comfortably on points. I think Liam Cameron is tough. He's durable. He'll definitely give Benn Whittaker something to think about. I said, best case scenario, it's a 10-round, shutout. It won't be a shutout. I'm not envisioning a 100 points to 89 point scorecard, not at all. I think it's going to be somewhere along the lines of 97, 93, 98, 92, thereabouts. Liam Cameron will have his moments in there. He certainly will. But I think that Benn Whittaker is going to take him a lot more serious. He's going to be much better prepared. He's in his hometown. I think he is from Birmingham, if I'm not mistaken. But certainly he's in Birmingham. He's headlining. And he's got a very good trainer in Andy Lee. I know a lot of people have been kind of skeptical about Andy Lee. But ever since I seen Joseph Parker in the Derek Chisora fight, the second fight, I've always thought Andy Lee is not looking too bad. And Paddy Donovan, tremendously talented fighter. I know he lost his last fight, but, DQ, it's still official, but he was going to win the fight. And, you see other fighters going to him. I think he's done a tremendous job with other fighters. And I think no different with Benn Whittaker. And I'm looking forward to seeing if he's got any more influence than, say, Sugar Hill did on the Benn Whittaker style and the approach. So I'm expecting good things from Benn Whittaker tomorrow night. Like I said, I will be going live about 8:30 to watch this fight live with you guys. I hope you tune in. You'll have Ad A&G Man watching it live, just not together. Maybe that will come eventually. And for now, I'll leave it there. People, I hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, as always, if you haven't already. And until next time, until tomorrow, I'll leave it there. Peace.